Jesus made and baptized more disciples than John, though Jesus himself baptized not but his disciples, he left Judea and departed again into Galilee. And he must needs go through Samaria. Then cometh he to a city of Samaria which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there, and Jesus therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. Okay, so this is the city of Samaria, to a city of Samaria called Sychar. This is Shechem, if you read your Old Testament. And it's just really setting the scene. You know, it says that Jesus was wearied. You know, he was tired. Because he's in a body, he's in a human body. And so we see this side of his humanity. He got hungry, he got thirsty at times, he grew tired at times, and so he sat by the side of the well, just having a rest, and waiting, no doubt, for this encounter that he's going to have with this woman. So let's read on and see what happens. All right, verse 7. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. And Jesus saith unto her, Give me to drink, for his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Jesus answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Jesus answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Okay, fantastic words there. The meeting between these two people is an interesting one. The Samaritans, as many of you will know, were absolutely hated by the Jews. They despised them because what the Samaritans had done was they'd taken the worship of God, of Jehovah, and they had paganized it. They'd mixed it with the practices of the nations around them, and it was really a perversion of how God should be worshipped. Also, they intermarried with the nations around them, which they've been forbidden to do. So they were kind of Matthew Henry calls them a mongrel race. You know, they'd mixed with the nations around them that God had forbidden them to do, and so they really were looked on by most Jews as, you know, the worst kind of people in the world. That's why Jesus uses the example of the Good Samaritan to talk about being a good neighbour. You know, it's such a shocking concept to their minds. And yet now this woman approaches the well. She's a Samaritan. Jesus, of course, is a Jew. So straight away, the fact that he starts to talk to her is a real break with convention. It's quite shocking in some senses. You know, it really wasn't the done thing. The other thing is that he was a rabbi, and again, rabbis were not really supposed to talk to women. That was another thing that was really frowned upon. But here's Jesus. He's very relaxed. You can tell from the conversation, and he just does these things. He just cuts through all the social given circumstances of the day, and he just says, you know, starts a conversation with her, and she's a bit taken aback by this, but she's not offended. You can tell by her reply. She's I think intrigued, and she wants to hear what he's got to say. And so she comes with this pot to draw water from the well, and Jesus starts to talk to her about a different kind of water, and she seems kind of confused about what he's saying. But I believe that the phrase living water to the Jews could mean, you know, a spring, just a simple spring of water, sometimes called living water. And so maybe that's part of the confusion in her mind. But I just want to focus on some of the things that he says. In verse 10 here, Jesus says this, If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me a drink. So it's that phrase there, the gift of God. Jesus is saying, if you knew what the gift of God was, and I just want us to ponder for a moment, you know, forgive me if this sounds basic, but what is the nature of a gift? You know, if you can picture a young man going to his lady friend's house, and he sort of knocks on the door, and he's got this great big bunch of flowers. Sure, the men here have done this and probably still do it, giving their wives a bunch of flowers in those early days of the relationship. And so he stood at the door with a bunch of flowers behind his back. She opens the door and he says, for you. And she's absolutely bowled over. Said, oh, they're wonderful, thank you very much. She said, yeah, I wanted to get you a really nice gift, you know, something that you'd really appreciate and love. And she says, yeah, they're wonderful, thank you, I'll go and put them in some water. He says, oh, by the way, they're only $24.99, so you can either give me the money now, or if you want, you can pay in installments. I mean, would she want the gift? I don't think so. Is it a gift? No, it's not a gift if you've got to pay for it, is it? A gift is something that comes free. That you cannot give something, I'll give you all this, and then you give me the gift. You know, well, no, you paid for it. It's no longer a gift. And this is really important to establish that when he talks about the gift of God, that it's free. It's not something that can be bought.